In the name of God, most gracious, most merciful, I want to address the topic of Atef Khalifa and why it is crucial at this time. Now we know in the Arabic language there is 25 consonants and 3 vowels. The vowels are Alef, Waw, and Ya. Now in the past, when the scribes wanted to collect the Quran, if a vowel was long, like Alef, if it was long, they have to spell it out in a word. If it's a short Alef, you don't need to spell it out. You just have a marker instead of it above a consonant, which is called Fatha, which will replace the Alef. So you don't write the actual letter if it's a short vowel. And this is very known in the Arabic grammar. It's the same thing for the Waw, the letter Waw. If the Waw is a long vowel, if it's a long sounding vowel, you must write the actual letter, the Waw. If it's a short Waw, then you just write a Dhamma above a consonant. And same thing for the third vowel, the Ya. If the Ya is long, you write the actual vowel. If it's a short Ya, you just write a kasra underneath a consonant. And this will make it very easy for us to understand that God has given us a sign with the Laam. The Laam is a consonant, it's not a vowel, which means the scribe didn't need to wonder whether he needs to write the Laam or not, because the Laam, since it's a consonant, it's neither short nor long. The scribe doesn't need to wonder whether he should include the Laam or exclude it from a word, because a consonant in an Arabic word must be spelled out. It's always written. And when we look on the miscalculations, the minor miscalculations of the Alef and Lam, if we say that the Alef is difficult, then God gave us the Lam because it's a consonant. God gave us a sign with 2 verses. One verse for the initials Alif Lam Mim and another verse for the initials Alif Lam Ra. So if you look on verses 1170 and verses 30:21, you will notice that Rashad missed out on 1 Lam per verse. 1 Lam for the group Alif Lam Mim and another Lam for the group Alif Lam Ra. And this is a sign from God to us. We cannot say that since the messenger left, that the miracle is done, it's not to be touched. We cannot leave it in an ancient computer lab not to be touched anymore, because the whole meaning with the mathematical miracle is to verify evidence. And the righteous, their characteristics is written in the Quran that they always research, study, they verify all evidence, they follow common logic when they decide what to follow. They don't just follow blindly. Sadly, today, many of the submitters have decided to follow blindly what the believer next to them is saying about Atef Khalifa and the truth. To God, as far as God is concerned, every believer needs to verify evidence for themselves. Now, you're either an honest submitter or a dishonest one. Now, if we go back to the 2 verses, so if you look on verse 1170 and verse 30:21, you will notice, as I said, that there is only 1 Lam miscalculated. It's very easy to see. You can just open any Arabic Quran, the original Quran in Arabic. Open any Arabic Quran. It doesn't matter what version it is. Hafs, Warsh, whichever version of the Arabic Quran you open, the Lam will always be spelled out. Because as I said, The scribe does not need to wonder whether to include it or to exclude it. And this is a very clear sign for the submitter. God is making it very easy that it is fine, it is okay to count the miracle after the messenger passes away, because the miracle is perpetual. We cannot forbid people from verifying the miracle and the evidence in the miracle. This is what perpetual means. The miracle is not owned by Rashad. It's not his hidden secret. It is God's hidden secret. As far as Rashad is concerned, Rashad was just trying to translate the Quran, and he found the miracle by accident, as far as he is concerned. As far as God is concerned, God led him on to discover it. So the miracle is owned by God, and God has already shown us that Rashad published the Alef and Laam counts on that Rashad made 4 different counts, published 4 different counts during his lifetime. So now we know that Rashad has perfected the way of counting the alphabets and the Quran. He has perfected the way of counting them, the rules of how to count them. However, there is still some minor miscalculations, and these minor miscalculations are there to expose who is going to still obey God and who is going to claim that no, Rashad is perfect and we cannot touch his work. The overall message of Rashad is done. When the Prophet Muhammad received the Quran by Gabriel, he wrote it down, and he didn't need to be alive to for the Quran to be written, to be collected in a book. He just wrote notes to his followers how to place the verses. He doesn't need to be there, because the believer has the intelligence. A human being has the intelligence to follow rules. So it's the same thing with the mathematical miracle. It's basic knowledge. This is very basic. All you need to do is to follow your common sense. Let's say, for example, there is a new discovery. If we have a new discovery, can we just ignore it? Not a mathematical discovery in the Quran. I'm talking now about any discovery on Earth. Let's say some scientist finds a discovery, and then his common sense will tell him to announce it to people. This is exactly what Rashad did with the mathematical miracle. In 1974, before messengership or anything like that, he started announcing his findings to help people find the message and the truth about the Quran to the rest of the world. It wasn't until 1980 that he knew that he is an actual messenger. So an honest researcher, an honest believer, whether you call him submitter or not, whatever word you use is not important. If you're an honest person, you have to stand up for any truth that you find. If you're an honest human being, you stand up for any truth you find. So Rashad stood up for the miracle. He found some signs, some mathematical pattern in the Quran, and he announced it to the Muslim world and to other people in the USA to help them find the message. It wasn't because he wanted to say, oh, this is me, look at me, I own this miracle, this is mine. No, it's because there is some scientific new evidence. And the same thing today. What happened with Atef is the same. Atef's goal was not to prove that he is special or to divert people from following the messenger. No, it was to make the whole world understand, the world that killed his brother understand that this miracle can be verified with any means, manually, with new software. It will always be accurate. It will always correct any errors that are injected into the Quran. So you cannot say, oh, the messenger died, that's it, we're not going to touch it anymore. This is very important, because if you do that, it just means you want to idolize. You want to have a new idol after whatever idol you had before, Muhammad or Jesus or whichever religion you came from. And this is not okay with God. And you need to understand that as far as God is concerned, every human being is responsible for being honest and using their means of hearing, eyesight, and their intelligence, their brain. And this is very common sense. It's very simple to understand. Now, if you have any questions, I really need to know. I want to help you as much as possible to understand that this is not from me. Okay, this is not from me. This is common sense. You don't need someone to tell you. You don't even need someone to be a messenger to tell you that um, there is something going on. But the issue is that recently, as we know, with the submitter community, there is many disputes. And frankly speaking, God has had enough, and he wanted to start with the first dispute. And this is the first dispute with the initials. Now, anyone who doesn't want to follow logic, doesn't want to use their means of intelligence any longer, it just means that you don't actually care about the miracle. You're fighting the miracle. You're trying to crowding it out with your nonsense. Not to touch it, not to verify it. Or the messenger died, we're just gonna leave it. That's not okay with God. Because this religion is going global. And the disputes needs to stop, because people will come to this religion soon, and they shouldn't find this nonsense going on. It is really nonsense. The religion is not about Rashad. It's not about humans. It's never been about humans. God says in the Quran that it was never, for instance, about Jesus. God can annihilate Jesus if he wants. That's a verse in the Quran. And you know that Jesus is one of the main names of the messengers today. So you need to think about this very carefully. When a scribe was collecting, was writing the Arabic words, he did not need to wonder whether he needs to include or exclude the Laam. This is a sign for you. It's very important to understand. A consonant is always spelled out. It's always written. There is no short consonant. There is no long consonant. He does not need to wonder. So this is a very clear sign for you. You don't need to go and count the alefs that Atef did and others. You only need to look on the Laam. It's very simple. Okay, it's a very simple test, but it will be difficult for the hard-hearted. It's a very simple test. So all I want you to do basically is to be honest with yourselves and look at it from a logical point of view. Okay, this is what a believer will do. Okay, I really hope that you take this message very seriously. I'm doing my best, and I have been doing so for the last year now, since last Ramadan, and we are now approaching Ramadan for this year 2020. And I'm sure you have been following us on Facebook and seeing the many signs that have been published, and hopefully day by day it will be easier for you to understand that this is not just me speaking, okay? But your starting point, your understanding, if you are idolizing or if you're submitting, is really the Alef and Lams. Just go back to verses 1170 and verse 3021. Okay? And as I said, if you have any questions, please let me know. I'll try to help you as much as I can, but I cannot um change your opinion unless you understand that God is more important than anyone else. Because this world is about God. Why do you live otherwise? Why are you here? If you just want to have a new idol and defend him with barricades, do you think you can defend your idolatry? You cannot do that. It's impossible. Muslims have in the past been stuck when Rashad showed them the miracle. They liked it in the beginning, but then they hated it when he said, "Oh, there is no hadiths anymore." Before announcing his messengership, he said, "There is no more hadiths." Quran says there is no more hadith. They said, "Oh, the miracle is bad then." How can this person who discovered this say that? So what did they do during Rashad's time? They were stuck in counting the basmala. They could not get together and agree that it is only 19 letters. Okay? They start to invent 17, 21, 22. They just wanted to disagree with the 19 finding. They were stuck in counting the letters in the basmala for many years when Rashad was discovering so many other signs in the miracle. And similarly, now you are stuck with counting the lamb. I feel like that. I hope I'm wrong, but I feel like you're stuck in counting the lamb for a whole year when you've seen so many answers about circumcision, okay? About the end of the world. There's so many answers that have been there, but it feels like it has gone to deaf ears, and I hope I'm wrong. Now, I have mainly been emailing submission.org, Masjid Tucson, and on Facebook, on the main group on Facebook. But I'll try to upload this video now as well to everyone. So everyone is on the same page. Everyone understands that God is not very pleased with the situation among the submitters when God is trying to take this religion globally, and the submitters are just busy defending their opinion instead of just really believing in the Quran. It's very simple to believe in the Quran. All you need to be is to be honest. It's not a difficult equation. Just need to be honest. Okay, I'm not gonna take it too long now, and I wish you very well, and God bless.